that's true.
All right, everybody, welcome back. We're getting ready to start our second race. Real quick, I'm going to go through the runners. We have Decker BRD, Kriegspire, Desi Boy, W Reflect, and Chaos Kitty X. All very good runners. Do we have somebody duped? I think we do have somebody duped. Thanks for the call there, friend. Let's fix that real quick. Alright, why is that doubled? Sorry guys, I'm bad at this game. Alright. Just give me 1 second. Restreaming is fun. Alright, let's try this. A little better. Alright, there we go. So, Deckerbird, Kriegspire, Chaos Kitty X, W Reflect, and DC Boy. Alright, I'm just going to get started, then I'm going to toss you over to our commentators. For this race, it's going to be Real Critical, who just won the last race. He's back for more. And we have Bamboo Shadow, who is also a great runner. They're both know a lot about this game, and they're going to do a great job. So, I'm going to count the runners down. Hopefully they are ready. We've got... Sorry, real quick. Let's shut the music off, although I really like that version of that song. That's pretty cool. And get some music going here. And let's see here. We're going to start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. All right, guys, take it away.
Yo,
Right.
howdy.
Hey everyone.
Hey, I'm Bamboo Shadow.
Hey, Real Critical.
I said hi, I'm Bamboo Shadow. You were supposed to say hi, I'm Real
Okay.
Critical.
Yeah, sorry, man. I'm still halfway in that race, dude.
You're still like with your heads up in the clouds for that 2-turn kill. That was
Yeah.
brilliant, man.
Yeah,
Congrats.
thanks. All right, but I mean, let's focus on the current runners.
Yeah.
I would
So
say.
we got 5 runners.
Yeah.
So right off the bat, what is your bet towards the winner of this 5 person
I'm
race?
not gonna call out any favorites here, but or favorites. Here. I mean, I said it all day long when I was doing runs. Pretty much like with the current rule set, it's an even game. Everyone can find 15 billion iris treasures and just
Mitch.
Well, he's not in this race, but yeah, he's probably gonna win finding 9 iris treasures in his run.
Oh, is that actually a goal of Fatal Blowout?
Not 9 iris treasures, but you get 5 points for each iris treasure that you collect. So yeah,
Okay, nice.
we get some good stuff here going on already. Chaos Kitty found Rally, which is real nice.
Yeah, and let me just check where I can look up the additional goals. Of course, like the overall goal will be, if you just tuned in now, the overall goal will be to succeed in this roguelike randomizer cave throughout fill floor 99 and beat the very hard boss, the Jelly. Yeah, our runners will be trying to collect all as much items as possible. I would say. I mean, like 2 hours are like should be good enough to pick up a bunch of items throughout the run.
So, Reflect just got Freak, which he's gonna like. Decker got Zap, which are all really good spells. And to be precise, you don't actually win, or you don't actually win by killing the Jelly, but you win by collecting the most points, and killing the Jelly gets the most points. So, say everyone kills the Jelly, or no one kills the Jelly. the points will decide who will come out victorious out of the race. So yeah, that's kind of twist about failed blowout. So even if you kill the jelly first, you don't automatically win the race, as it would be in like say a regular speedrun race, which you actually win by collecting points and yeah, pretty much beat the challenges that the failed blowout tournament organizers have so beautifully wrapped up in Star Wars memes.
Yeah.
There should be if you look at the chat,
Yeah.
just trigger
Exclamation mark rules for the fatal blowout rules. Like RC just said, the major target, of course, killing the jelly, and of course you can collect additional points with extra stuff like getting rid of some characters, I guess. Like
yeah,
for
if
example,
you
what was there?
you get additional points if you choose characters that aren't in the default party. So normally you would take Decker, Artie, and Guy, because it's just the party that will most likely give you an advantage to survive the cave and to use most equipments to beat the jelly. So if you deviate from that concept and you use one or two characters that are either TSLN or Lexus, which I can see some people have opted for, then you get additional points. And yeah.
Yeah, also thanks for that rundown, because, I'm a big noob when it comes to Fatal Blowout, I only run stupid Lufia Ancient Cave categories like Iris percent or Providence percent, So, yeah, this is like sort of a special category, not like a traditional speedrun category, you could say. I guess it's rather like a tournament setting. And nice Deadly Rod for Chaos Kitty, that's pretty good, getting that right off the bat. Takes away your sorrow when you get to the later floors, and when you have like these super large enemies with like 2000 HP, and with the Deadly Rod you can basically just one-shot them, and that's really helpful.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure commentators in the last run have explained everything thoroughly, but on the dangers of being redundant. If I'm explaining anything,
I mean, like, it's been 2 hours ago, we can,
exactly.
We can do the dance again, also just for Mike's sake, because like I said, I'm a big noob, it helps me to, get it back into my mind.
That's fun, yeah. I mean, that makes you ask questions that people want to know about, So.
Oh, okay, yeah, because like all of our precious 526 viewers are like totally, of course, informed when it comes to speedrunning the Ancient Cave, and also especially Fatal Blowout. So yeah, I guess we're
no.
gonna.
I mean, maybe not, but maybe you're gonna ask the questions that people are too held back to ask. That's what I mean.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, you meant that? Okay, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
Because
with
like
that, with that in mind, just ask away
that's
people.
Usually my deal. Yeah, that's usually my deal. I'm like the dumb guy. The dumb co-commentator, that sidekick who doesn't know squat, but always.
I can't let that stand. Man.
Okay. Basically,
right, so
Miyagi doesn't approve.
Yeah. Yeah. So basically, in the beginning, you just want to collect some equipment to make you. I mean, at least that's what I did. Try to make you survive the first couple of floors to get you some resilience to. To pretty much do whatever you want afterwards. Be able to get into fights.
Yeah, and also I want to say right off the bat, shoutouts and thanks to Pooh Axel and his RPG Limit Break team to actually make this tournament happen on the RPG Limit Break channel. That's pretty huge and pretty cool for the Lufia Ancient Cave community to make this tourney actually happen on such a large platform and let us broadcast that on RPG Limit Break. That's pretty cool. I'm hyped about that.
So DC Boy just got a champion, and Decker got an ice ring, which is a very rare item, and it's especially interesting because he has Lexus, who has ridiculously high intelligence, meaning if he finds Ice Walk, which is the strongest ice elemental spell, and Ice Ring will double that, he'll be able to do some serious damage. That's a very nice find.
Kriegspire find, well, at least for me, the most important item in the cave, the Deadly Sword.
The Deadly Sword. Yeah.
RC and I have an ever ongoing dispute about the Deadly Sword, because it's like, if you equip it, you can one-shot enemies. but then Maxim is cursed and he can't equip other weapons unless you find a curse lifter which uncurses that very deadly sword, so he can equip actually useful weapons you're gonna need to fight the jelly. And you know, it's very helpful when you're in the cave, especially on the later floors, because you can one-shot big, huge enemies, but of course you gotta take care or like hope that you will find some curse lifters, and I'm like more of, you know, a risky guy, so I like to equip that right off the bat. Let's see when Krieg will equip that.
I'm pretty sure Krieg will not haste to equip that unless he actually has to, because it just limits your options so much. I mean, especially in the marathon setting, it's not really a feasible strat to equip the deadly sword right away because you just don't know whether you're gonna get a curse lifter.
Yeah, sure. Like I guess it's more like an RTA strat I'm always doing there, because like it especially helps, deadly weapons especially help on the higher floors, of course, but I don't find them unuseful in the lower floors, because like, you know, even in the lower floors enemies still like have more and more HP with every ongoing floor, and most of the time we will be rather underleveled, even though we have 2 hours to finish the cave.
Yeah.
And Krieg got his first course, I guess, so that's pretty neat.
He's using some serious MP on those.
Yeah. Always like a 20-ish second level up screen. No, it wasn't that much. I guess he already fought some enemies before.
And he wasn't level 1, but
yeah,
he's making pretty good time, if I'm not mistaken here.
Yeah, he should be like around floor 13, 14, something like that.
Yeah. DC Boy is also 4 floors.
Yeah, and regarding the course, you don't see those sprites in the actual, how RC calls it, the DLC.
The story DLC.
The story DLC, yeah. Like in the normal game, you don't see actually those course sprites because they randomly appear somewhere on the map. And it's pretty cool though that they make in their appearance in the cave. And around the snow, the very certain floors, these cores will spawn because they're very weak and they give a huge amount of experience. But they have a 25% chance to escape from the battle before you can actually fight and kill them.
75% chance to escape, yeah.
Oh yeah, sorry, I was mixing that up. 25% chance of staying, of course, and yeah. 75 of leaving. So yeah,
I would have said that cores actually appear in the main game, but I'm not gonna fight you with that one.
No, I said the sprite. Only the sprite is not appearing because because.
No, I'm at the sprite as well. But I mean, whatever. It's not terribly important.
Is the sprite appearing somewhere in the map? Well, like if you go into the cave in the DLC, then it's appearing.
Oh no, I mean, well, whatever. I mean, we can sort this out later. In the meantime, someone found an iris sword. I missed who it was, but yeah, like I said before, they award 5 points for the tournament. It must have been DC player or Chaos Kitty from when it was mentioned in chat, I would say.
Yeah.
So.
Green course around Guy's hometown. I guess they're west of Sellen's hometown.
Yeah, west of Parsline.
Yeah.
Or actually around Parsline.
Yeah, just what I wanted to say. Of course, they're in the normal game, but you don't see the sprite. The guys in chat said as well. It's just, the sprite is cave exclusive.
Well, I stand corrected.
Yeah. But you know, like, that's pretty cool. Chaos Kitty with a pretty good start so far. You know, but that's pretty normal for us AC guys. I would say we're just like AC guys, as ancient cave runners. You know, we just like to talk and discuss and endless discussions about, you know, really redundant and pointless stuff. Yeah.
That would never happen, man.
Nah. I mean, you don't see these things in our Discord, you know, never. And you know, that's actually something I really like about the community, because it's still, after quote unquote all these years, quite active community, especially a quite active community in the European speedrunner scene, which makes me quite happy as a German fellow.
Yeah, exactly. There is, I mean, I don't particularly care where people come from, but I'm happy that there's people running it, you know, and there is definitely a nice distribution.
And a curse lifter for
runners
Bessie.
across
That's
the- Yeah,
pretty
just
cool. Sorry, yeah.
it's very nice. And the blue chest. Let's see what's in there. Calling catfish.
Ooh, spark staff, nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, sorry, Fally. AC guys and gals, of course. I stand corrected. I mean, let's be
right.
honest. It's mostly
Oh, yeah, sure.
guys, but you know, just
Well,
figure,
whatever.
you know. Yeah, talking about girls and speedrunning. I don't know if you know this, but Chaos Kitty actually is a female runner. I don't know if we have any other female runners in a Fatal Blowout tournament this year.
I wouldn't know off the top of my head, but
You
I
know.
can think of any. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty cool. She's been running the cave also for some years now. Not like being a super active speedrunner, but you know, when you're running the cave, most important part is actually knowing your stuff. And Trick for Desi. Oh, and Decker for Krieg. What the
Yeah.
heck? That's
Decker for
awesome.
Krieg. And Decker BRD got an Earth Jewel, which is one of the worst items you can pull from a blue chest. Feels bad, man. See, boy, got a horrible treasure room there, as far as I can tell.
Oh, what did you get? What blue item was that?
Earth Jewel.
Oh, the Earth Jewel. Okay, that's like right after Ice Hairman, I would say.
Yeah, Krieg is busy racing, but if he was here, he would say defense is useless, and he's not wrong.
Yeah, Krieg is like really huge shout outs to Krieg. He's like, you could say, the godfather of Ancient Cave, I would say. He
Well,
made,
he's certainly been there during the early days. I'm not sure if he was. I know there was other people running before him, and everything kind of came together at Game FAQs. But yeah, I mean, I wasn't around back then, so I wouldn't know exactly.
Yeah, I mean, he made a pretty cool sheet / tutorial on running the cave, and
Yeah.
he just like knows so much about this freaking game. It's unbelievable.
Exactly. So that's definitely where I would redirect people to if they want to start running the game. As Kriegspire's guide, it will pretty much not only give you the rough draft about everything, but will go very much into detail as far as if you want to dive into it. Yeah, about what's there to know about the Ancient Cave, explain the different mechanics, and I guess I can kind of say some of it, which is you're trying to get competitive versus a couple of monsters, so you're trying to be able to kill monsters, which is using deadly weapons, like negotiating deadly weapons, versus being able to maybe not in person. Finding the right gear, finding huge damage-dealing weapons, as well as fractional damage-dealing weapons, which in combination allow you to kill the jelly. And if you only have one of those, it will be very hard. Well, I mean, if you only have fractionals, you can't kill the jelly.
Yeah, sure. And I would say actually also one thing would be enemy movement, you know? Which is like really particular because you don't start running the cave and you know all enemy movement patterns right off the bat. So that's one of the things that just will evolve after you run the cave more and more. And you know, I'm a rather newer runner, I would still say. So I really remember my runs becoming more consistent with more attempts and just, you know, getting the gist of how enemy movement works. So that's pretty important.
Yeah, that's how it feels to me as well. Like you can really, like you can customize your own run speed by.
Dude, sorry, the second deadly rod for Krieg. He's on fire, man.
Man, that's a good sign in this tournament, for all I can tell. Getting 2 deadly rods. Just saying. But yeah, I mean, getting started running this game, I mean, I'm gonna do some advertising for the speedrun here, I guess. It's kind of easy because there's all the resources here. There is no tricks you can fail in that regard, you know, you can just... you need a bit of luck, of course, because the game is somewhat RNG dependent, but it's definitely not a randomizer where you don't have any chance to beat RNG. But by knowing more about the cave, both movement and enemies and weapons and whatnot, you can very much improve your chances. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, randomizer is a term which lots of folks from the speedrun community are familiar with these days. But yeah, originally we like to call it a roguelike. I actually looked it up. Rogue is a something 80s weird game. I don't know, is it even 70s or something, which just like also creates floors randomly, but it's like it's even worse than Pac-Man graphics wise, if I recall correctly.
Well, it's a text-based RPG, so...
Oh, it's even text-based, Jesus.
Yeah.
Squealer still plays it. What the heck? Yeah.
How does Squealer have time to play it when he plays the Ancient Cave all day? Thinking phase.
Yeah,
but I mean, just to conclude the previous topic, if you want to get started on a cave, join the AC Discord. You'll probably find the link somewhere, or maybe someone can post an invite in the chat and just talk to us. We're usually, I was going to say talking back, we're usually nice people, so yeah, if we can help out. Thanks, Shadow. If we can help out, someone's usually there to help you, and only if you're getting in good PB territory, then you're gonna be part of all the nagging and whatnot, all the pressure.
The pressure.
Yeah, so
the sub 1 hour pressure.
Exactly. But yeah, it's a very friendly community all in all, and very cozy. And I gotta say, unless you're running at Fatal Blowout, it's pretty chill to run it.
Yeah, you can just also pick your speed of running, quote unquote, running the cave, because you can see Maxim's movement like when he's like not in a fight. It's like preset, so there's like no mashing going on, just holding directional buttons to move. That was a pretty cool trick by Reflect there, forcing those Antares to get a 100% back attack. So yeah, what I was talking about, what I was trying to talk about was I feel when I think about this game, I'm thinking more like of a chess scenario, where you just can take your time, analyze the situation, and then plan your move. Because as you can see, the enemies are only moving when you move. So if you're like really in a rather tight room and there's enemies all around you and you don't want to fight them, then you just like got to figure out, okay, that guy can move that direction, he moves there, something, So I like that, especially so it makes it more accessible to new runners, because you just can, take your time when there's like dangerous situations and just try to figure it out by, making the best out of the knowledge that you already collected regarding enemy movement, and also, of course, about other stuff like what items to pick. Also, maybe what enemies to fight, of course, because some enemies are actually dropping items which are helping, mostly when it comes to fighting the final boss, the Jelly, I would say.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, another Decker Blade for Creek, didn't he already?
Jesus!
Wow.
Well, yeah.
All of them.
I guess we should also talk about the Decker Blade. So yeah, it's sort of ultimate. It's like IP attack. Can half the damage of the final boss, the Jelly. Unfortunately, the character Decker can only wear it once, not to confuse with our runner Decker, BRD.
Yes, only Decker can equip it.
Yeah, so like that was actually worthless, but a really rare find. And I mean, like, Greek's not gonna be too happy about it, because like he has 2 Deadly Rods now, 2 Decker blades, so not useful. But I guess he's still in very good shape run-wise so far.
Yeah, definitely. He just found Destroy, which isn't just an alternative to the Deadly Sword, and a way better one, some would say. But it also allows him to attempt the kill 3 characters with a single Destroy challenge, which will award a number of points that I don't know off the top of my head, because I don't have the list open. But yeah, I mean, that's a very good find. And at the same time, Decker had found Rally, which is going to be great. Healing spells are a major part of the game. So I think we have 3 characters now, 3 runners now, of course, that have healing spells and even revive spells. And it's definitely a very elemental part of the game, being able to bring your characters back to life if they happen to get killed. Because yeah, I mean, the healing spell by itself is very important, just to regenerate HP and be able to just get into battles, soak some damage, and just move on without bothering too much about it. Because the more you have to conserve your resources, the slower your time will be in the end. And after all, I mean, we have 2 hours time limit. Oh geez, there's a silver eye.
Yeah, that's pretty epic. I mean, like, I guess that's mostly good for the agility bonus you get out of it.
Yeah, normally it would be good for the agility bonus, but in Fatal Blood he also gets points for it.
Ah, yeah,
Gold Eye
I remember.
and Black Eye.
Yeah. So in that combo, Krieg already went and equipped the Deadly Rod on Artie. Now okay, for that fight he opts to re-equip. I guess he's going into a battle now. So yeah, after a while, every once now you want to fight some enemies. You know, mostly of course cores. Because like core, yeah, dude. Oh, that's a hefty floor for Chaos Kitty. That's intense. There are lots of blue mimics, so Chaos Kitty's probably on some of the 30 floors, and those guys with the green heads, you can see they're gonna follow her. Oh, dude, that's a that room is yuck.
That's pretty bad. Let's hope she doesn't have to go through. Oh yeah, nice.
Yeah, there are the stairs. Woo, I guess she she was really happy seeing the stairs there. They could have been like somewhere behind all of those blue chests, and those blue mimics are the worst enemies. They're super strong. They can basically one-shot your whole party, and then Chaos Kitty would have, I guess, tried to start again because we're only 23 minutes into the run, so there would be still enough time to reattempt. So yeah, that's actually gonna be I would say the first major turn point for our runners once they cross the floors. No. Once they leave the floors that can spawn the blue mimics behind them, because they're really frightening.
Yeah. Okay, so a couple of things happened here. Decker just found the Curse Lifter, which is great because he also had I think it was DC Boy who just found the Deadly Sword and checked it, but it turned out to be a wrong one.
Oh wow. And yeah, that was just what we were talking about with Chaos Kitty there. She doesn't even have to take the mimic encounter and can run away. She actually has to fight now that very blue mimic sitting in front of the door, which is the only door she can move to. That's a pain.
Yeah, this is where you can consider, if you have any blue chest items, this is where you can consider the Providence out and try from the top, because
it's even four.
This is pretty rough.
That's super rough. Like there would be there's also
chances of surviving that are not great.
Yeah, that's really gonna be tough. Like especially also with Artie and Selen in her party, girl power there. Selen best waifu, and god, right the frenzy into the face. That's really very highly gonna be ripped for Chaos Kitty. So
yeah, it does not look good now. Decker alone is not going to be able to make that.
Yeah, and there's the soft reset right off the bat. That was like actually the only decision there. That would have been a chance that it was only 1, 2, or 3 blue mimics, but yeah, she got the worst RNG there. Like both as in the blue mimics sitting in front of the door and also getting 4 blue mimics she has to fight.
Yeah.
Krieg also being like somewhat around it. So yeah, that was the thing we were talking about earlier. The blue mimics, they can be a pain.
Yeah, it's pretty terrible. Also, something I was gonna say before is that Krieg found champion, so he's actually in pretty good shape. Oh wow, DC Boy found Title Jewel, which is a blue chest item that is entirely useless. Because I don't think he has one of the girls with him, and even if he did, it's not gonna help him. I'm just gonna say it. It's not gonna help him.
It's real bad, yeah. Yeah, I guess we can agree to that. What Mitchell Volt just said in chat, it's just the blue mimics are quite a bit too OP. But I actually like it. It's like it's like something twisted in there. It's one of the random components which can actually make you run great if you can go through the blue mimic floors without any troubles. But yeah, sometimes it can treat you bad, and I'll have to try again. Still not over at all for Chaos Kitty.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, she's still in the game. She's still got over 1.5 hours, which is a time she can definitely a time in which you definitely can make it to the jelly. Yeah. So I mean, on the topic of mimics, it's good that they're there, but especially marathon runs, it's very unfortunate if that ends your streak, because they are the kind of enemy that you might not always be able to do something against. So.
Yeah, actually, a fun fact, when I was starting to run the cave, I actually didn't know that the blue mimics are just always sitting there doing nothing. I thought they would have like the same movement behavior as the red mimics. So I was always like taking a really long walk around those blue mimics.
Oh wow,
because
yeah.
I knew how lethal they were.
Which of course didn't make you realize that they don't move since you avoided them.
Exactly. You know.
And they do like to spawn in the first places. That's true, Shadow Killer. They're always they seem to know where you want to go, and they're right in your face. So yeah, I'm gonna say unless you're really overleveled by that time or got some great equipment, there's not usually something. Or I mean, they're not using frenzy. There's not something you can really do to avoid getting killed there.
Yeah, but yeah, I would say like regarding oh nice, Valor for Reflect. That's a pretty cool item there. It's like the strongest healing spell, and it can also revive your party members. Downside is it costs 30 MP, which is quite a bunch. And probably only way for our runners to refresh magic points, so MPs, is going to be to find consumable items like a miracle or a magic refill, like an X magic or high magic. So especially like in a rather longer run, like in this 2-hour run, you kind of want to, of course, always depending on which items you find, you kind of want to take care on your magic point management.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's a spell absorb that will give you MP, but there is no MP healing tells. There's HP healing tells, but yeah, there is no other way to regenerate HP other than consumables and the spell.
Yeah, in the story DLC.
The spells.
Yeah, in the story DLC, there are also magic healing tiles.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So yeah, in case you were wondering about Kriegspire's choice of his for his capsule monster, I guess it's also one of the tasks of the Fate Blowout
point table. Yeah.
Point table, yeah.
Although he's not getting any extra points for Darby. I think it's 10 points for each reject character and a non. Well, I mean. There's 3 capsule monsters we generally regard as powerful, which is Sully, Darby, and Zeppi. And those 3 won't get you any points, and any other one will get you 10 points. I think it's 10 points.
Okay. So sure. Darby is actually a choice of strat, so to speak, here. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Darby is the most consistent capsule monster. He will give you the most consistent damage output. Sully has a technically higher damage output, but whether it's actually gonna happen is the question, because he's very
well, with best RNG, Sully can do like 2,000 to 500 to 3,000 damage on the final boss fight, which is huge.
Well, if you get
there's also a high chance. Yeah, I mean, like, just technically speaking, of course, you know, statistically speaking, but you know, there might be also a chance that you evolve him to stage 4, that you feed him, you know, like we have to feed those capsule monsters and make it stronger, you know, sort of like Pokemon.
That's what Krieg just did.
Yeah. So, but but Sully also has a high tendency to defend. I don't know the statistics behind that, but he's defending a lot, so he can also just defend 3 times, and all of that evolving and taking care of him was totally in vain. So,
Chaos Kitty just got an Eagle Rock drop, which is a 2% chance.
Very nice. On those. Actually, on the normal eagles, that's also 2%. Yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah, the chest is even more rare.
Yeah, and also heavy lance for Kriegspire. That's actually a pretty good weapon on the rather early levels because it does a lot of damage. He has already his Deadly Rod equipped for Artie. Yeah. No Gades Blade yet. Which is also a really powerful item, but a really rare item.
What are they waiting for and getting the Gades Blade?
Yeah, I mean, I usually get them on the first floor. I don't know what they're struggling with, so you know.
Let's not get into that one, huh? We could be talking for the rest 1.5 hours. But yeah, I mean, things like
small
Gades
inside
Blade.
joke here. Small inside joke.
Things like the Gades Blade, which is an item that has an IP attack that attacks 8 times, is a real game changer if you have it.
Yeah, if you tuned in like an hour ago, you just saw the ending of the race before, and our very critical, who's commentating with me, he just found that and actually enabled him to kill the jelly, not in 3 but in 2 turns, which is really a really well moved there.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was handed to me. I gotta say. I mean, that was the kind of run you're hoping for, especially if you're starting out with a game when you're not being a very good runner like me, you know. So I'm just getting all the items I can get, and yeah, then you're done. There is a 3rd Decker Blade for Creek. I don't
Jeez.
It's gonna make a collection, man. Decker is running out of hands already.
Dude, yeah, I remember one of my runs this week. I guess I did like 2 or 3 runs this week, and I was also one run where I found like 3 Decker Blades, and it's just like the game peeing in your face, you know, because it's like you only needed 1 freaking time. What's the purpose of the game giving you this very powerful item though 3 times? But yeah,
well, there's Arc Staff for KSK. That's very nice.
That's pretty cool, yeah.
And Venicus, I'm sorry, man. I had no idea what happened to the art people. I was quite surprised that I came on top. So, yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to look at it later. And
yeah. Oh, please tell me if you know, because I was sort of surprised. Do you have to kill the jelly within the 2 hours, or it's like?
You have to reach the jelly floor, which is floor 99, within the time limit of 2 hours, and then you can beat the jelly whenever you want. Oh, there's Muscular.
So if I beat the jelly on 202, that still counts with points?
If you made it to the jelly floor before 2 hours, yes. But you won't get the extra points that you get for killing the jelly sub 2 hours, which is...
okay, so that's the...
another incentive.
Those are the items there, okay. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, like that's a pretty cool thing, which is actually the special thing about the Fatal Blowout tournament, of course, that there are just like, you know, random, arbitrary goals, you could say, that we did set ourselves on, and you know, like sort of side quests, you could say. You know, we just sort of gave ourselves some side quests to finish throughout running these 2 hours through the cave. And yeah, talking about that, I also can't stop thinking about bingo. So that's also one part some people like to do frequently, which is the bingoing. I guess it became sort of popular with Super Mario 64 or also other speedrun communities.
Yeah, I would say it's mostly Ocarina of Time, but
okay.
Sure. So, Water Spear. Oh, is he running Lexus actually? Because then that would be a really good item.
I don't think so. I don't remember Krieg's party.
Krieg was
I know he has a deadly rod already.
Awesome all day, so.
No, he has a standard party, and he has the deadly rod already on Artie, and yet no curse lifter. But that shouldn't be too bad.
No, a deadly rod is usually fine as long as you have any tier 3 spell. You can do something with Artie, which is going to be good enough. Decker also found champion in the meantime a while ago, actually.
Yeah, that was the thing, Arc Zero. So the 5th character to the right there, that's our capsule monster, which is sort of like a self-controlled Pokemon. So we can't control it, so it just does the, like, I guess it has like, it can either attack or defend, and it has like 3 special abilities, and it can support the fights using its special abilities. The thing is, it can get killed, but you don't have to revive it because it will automatically respawn with every next one.
Reflect has to find the blue mimic that's directly.
Yeah, wow. Same deal.
PC Boy also finding Rallyman. There's a lot of healing spells going around here.
Yeah. But that's only one. So that was the thing with KOSK before. She had like 4 blue mimics, and Reflect has like 1. So that's really rather easy actually to take care of. And talking about those special abilities you saw on Reflect screen there, the capsule monster actually doing one of the special abilities, which was healing one of the characters. Was that on Reflect? Was that Zeppy?
That's Flash. That is actually one of the weird capsule monsters that we don't regard as very strong. It wastes a lot of time, and when it heals, it heals like way too little for you to be useful. And an advantage is that it's probably the easiest capsule to evolve to stage 5, which is the master form, and that's because the fruit that you need to evolve it to the last phase is the easiest to farm. So that's probably the decision that Reflect made here. And of course, he's going to get 10 points for using a non-default. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. What was that? With the capsule monsters here, I'm trying to read through our sheet here, which can be also read if you type in rules. I'm just going to do that. So
fighting. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, so I was just about to say, if you want to see the rules and the extra side quests that add additional points to the final score, yo, Wolf Punch for Krieg, that was sick.
Yeah, I was about to say,
you can read through the rules there. So yeah, RC, go ahead.
I was just going to say Krieg's Fighting Assassins, which is one of the more challenging enemies that actually appear in the map because they have twice the movement speed you will have. So it's very hard to run away from them.
And they instantly track you once you enter a room. That's one of the most annoying things there.
Exactly, yeah. So
yeah, you can, if you're new, if you don't know this game, and if you're just watching this for the first time, you can think of this game as your classic turn-based RPG. And the Ancient Cave is actually like a sort of side quest or like bonus quest / dungeon that you can access in the normal casual game. But once you play through the game twice, you get the so-called gift mode, which is the very mode we're playing right now. And in that gift mode, you can you can only play the Ancient Cave, but with some additional options. Those being that you can actually choose your party members, and you can get like sort of party member constellations which aren't possible in the normal story DLC, as we like to call it.
So Deceitful had just found a Twist Jewel, and immediately after got a Dia Ring, which is great because he has TM. So Dia Ring allows you to cast Zap as an IP attack, and it's pretty nice. And Twist Jewel increases your agility by 30 points, which is the max you have in a non-weapon in the game. It's a really good item because agility
It's a really good item, man.
It is a really good item.
A small inside jokes here.
Yeah, as Chad is letting us know. If you were watching DC Boys stream right there, you could see the sessions creeping up on him, and that actually happened before as well, where you just sometimes get into a battle and you don't realize it early, which is why we usually in a run want to walk into the doorways and it looks like we're running against the wall, but what we're actually doing is making steps so that we will see if Ninja or Assassin are coming our way.
Yeah, and also maybe try to, if you're entering a room and, doing some stutter stepping there, just like moving a little slower.
Maybe. I mean, for Assassin and Ninja, because they move faster than you do, that might already be too late. But yeah, of course, you can also attempt that if you're, a bit more.
If you're, in some situations it makes sense. If you're entering like a room and there's like the stair set is like, I don't know, maybe like 5 tiles away or something, maybe you still want to take care, because another thing which is pretty cool with Lufia is you can see our character Maxim, the red-haired guy, and also the enemies are always only moving in cardinal directions. So there's no diagonal movement involved at all.
More or less, yeah. But, I mean, yeah.
Talking about Hadouken slashes.
No, I'm talking about, if an enemy is like in a generally diagonal position from you and they will move towards you, they will move like left down to
oh yeah, but it's like they're taking 2 steps. You can only move. I wanted to say you can only move like cardinal directions. If you're taking 1 step, you can only move cardinally. That's what I wanted to say.
Exactly.
And I just wanted to say that's the cool thing there with encountering enemies. You can see our players here trying to always move into the back of an enemy sprite. Or like attack them or like move towards them from the side, so they get a 50-50 chance to get a so-called first strike, I guess.
Like the game calls it, got in first. That's the message you get.
Okay. So you
first
get
strike
like a free
is
turn
good.
in our round-based battles, where you just can, where you have like, of course, a way higher chance of killing the enemies without taking any damage or just making easier work of a battle, of course.
Yeah, actually getting into battle first is one of the most important things you can get because it saves both time and your resources. So, and I mean, eventually it will save you a run if you have to encounter an enemy that's too strong for you.
Okay, you got lucky there. Oh, dude, that teleporting enemy. But again, he got the first strike, so that was pretty cool. Desi had like a hard time there fighting that teleporting guy, which is like, those guys have really random patterns, and they can teleport inside you even. And I guess it's totally random though if you get a surprise attack, which would be the opposite of a first strike, where you get like, where the enemies get a free turn.
Yeah.
But he got lucky twice there, so that was pretty cool. Oh, and that's an awful floor for Chaos Kitty. Like those really small floors, 2 tiles wide, where you like only could stand enemies stuffed inside there, and you basically have to fight your way through there. That's not what you want to have in a speedrun.
Yeah. Like, especially if, like, the later it happens, the worse it generally is. Or the earlier, of course, because then you won't have any equipments. The later it happens, the more likely you're gonna run into Archfiends or Dragon Cons, as we call them, which is basically rooms filled with dragons or Archfiends or anything you're gonna have to slash your way through, and that is gonna be really hard.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, the chance might be really high that we will see one of our 5 runners standing for like 2 minutes in a really tight hallway, just slashing and walking against the
Let's hope that doesn't happen.
Yeah, against the walls for like forever, just to make the enemies move in a like sort of position they can work on.
Yeah. I mean, I would say that's the biggest thing you can use as an indicator of how well someone is playing the cave in terms of speedrunning it. You know, I mean, of course, I'm not going to judge anyone for casually playing it, but your speedrun ability highly depends on how well you can negotiate enemies and how well you can make them do what you want. Like, if that's a very good I'm not sure that's a good expression, but basically you want to be able to move through the cave, I mean, as effortlessly as possible, I suppose. So yeah, you have to know movement for that. It's pretty much the first half of the battle screen is the map where you negotiate your enemies. Okay, so there's Rally for W Reflect now, so I think all characters actually have found Rally. I'm not sure about Creek, but I know the other 4 have it. Even Chaos Kitty, after re-entering the cave, has found Rally.
Yeah, I guess Reflect also has Valor, so... But it's nice to have Rally, which is a weaker heal and revive spell that costs only 10 magic points, so...
Yeah, of course, having both is much better.
Yeah, sure.
He's not going to complain, I'm sure.
No, that's not where I was going, but it's nice to have, like, of course, a choice on where you want to spend your MP, where you want to spend your magic points.
Yeah.
Also, those healing spells can damage enemies which are, like, undead. Like, also enemies, of course, have, like, different elements.
Yeah.
Some are weak to fire, some are weak to water, what have you.
Reflex got to deal with 2, I would assume, ninja here.
Yeah, and he's level 19.
Both DC Boy and Kriegspire are trying to kill Brince Lizards, which drop Twist Jewels, which in my opinion is a very good choice.
It's a really good item.
It is a really good item for sure, not just in my opinion. And it is a good choice farming them because, yeah, they turn out to be not as dangerous as other enemies on these floors. So
yeah, because like movement speed is really important just to get out of battles, to get quicker out of battles, which can be also like an argument that can be made towards rather unpopular characters like Lexus or Tia, because the movement speed is just faster. So the chances of running away from unwanted encounters are way higher.
I'm gonna have to correct you on that one though. Lexus is not fast at all.
Oh really?
Not one of his traits now.
Is he slower than Maxim?
Oh, nice. I'm pretty sure he's slower than Maxim.
Okay. I thought he was like sort of like between Maxim and Artie agility-wise, but yeah.
I have to admit I don't use Lexus all that often, but
yeah,
I mean, you know me, I'm looking it up as we speak.
Yeah.
And yeah, like slightly faster than Maxim later on, and slightly slower than Maxim early on. So it's pretty much exactly Volt. He's about as fast. But yeah, since Maxim isn't really fast, not in a way that does anything for you, I wouldn't say that's a trait Alexis's you can really count on. But Tia will definitely bring agility to the table, same as Artie. So those two characters are very helpful in terms of running away from enemies, acting first, and Reflect just found a deadly sword, but he's doing the right thing. Doesn't even check whether it's real or not. Just disregards it.
Yeah, starting with floor 20, there are two kinds of deadly swords dropping. One is a both are cursed, but one is useless and just screws you up. But you can check the description, the item description. Oh, Desi got into a saucy encounter with those iron gorms. They can be a pain.
And
Dude,
Krieg
that's not
just got
good.
double knife throwed and escaped from that battle.
Jeez, that hurts. Desi just got bashed by those iron
gorms,
guys. Yeah. Oh, they can. Their movement is really, really annoying. And yeah, he got really bad luck there and got the surprise attack. It was a 50-50 chance, and then also bad RNG. But he's a tough guy. He's gonna try again.
Yeah, he
Just jumping right back into the cave.
He was nice to let the in-game description play for the ancient cave. It's gonna be really hard finishing the game in exactly 1 hour 11, which is left.
Yeah.
Which is not insider, I suppose. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely possible. And oh wow, he's got Tia as well. That's very interesting.
Yeah, I guess that wasn't like the reason that he died here. It was just like really a combination of bad luck, of course, and then a combination of multiple bad lucks, so to speak.
Yeah. I'm not sure we covered.
You want to talk
prize
about
money
Krieg?
yet? So
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no. I'm just saying. I'm not sure we talked about the prize money yet. I'm sure someone else will do that. Like probably Shadow will cover that later on. So I don't want to go too far into it. But one of the challenges that people set out in terms of like adding to that was to beat the cave within 1 hour 11 using not Guy, which is actually a pretty tough challenge, and people have been trying to compete in that regard. But yeah, Krieg is dedicating as much time as possible to Brinsler, it seems like.
Yeah, because they're dropping really good items, man.
Yeah, they do. I'm not sure if he actually was lucky enough to get a Twist Jewel, but
yeah, I didn't recognize any drops there. He has a pretty good level though. He should be around level 50-ish. Actually, I can look that up on a pretty cool web page that was also created by some folks from the Lufia Ancient Cave community, which is this thing we call AC Ref, which is just like a small chart of all the items and all the weapons and also of all the enemies. So I can just use that and look up on which floors those very items and those very enemies are spawning.
Yeah, I will say though, I would, especially for new runners, I would very much advise to look at Krieg's guide first and foremost. Oh, there is an Iris Jewel for Chaos Kitty. That's very nice.
Yep.
Yeah, because ACRF is more of a list of fixed values. It's not really going to help you run the game, whereas Krieg's guide is actually including advice, including reasons for why you should do what. And that is really where you should try to get started. So, I mean, now that you linked that one, I feel like I would link Krieg's guide as well, which is the link I just posted. Go into Google Docs.
Yeah, it's just like a combination of both should help you if you want to get started speedrunning this roguelike randomizer-ish combination of knowledge. I would say getting good at the cave is really just mainly a combination of knowing enemy movement, of course, huge RNG. Yeah, of course. I mean, like, it also helps. You gotta know the items. You know, when I started speedrunning this game, I didn't know any of the items. You know, you just start speedrunning, and you're gonna spend a lot of time in the menu, reading through what item is good for what and whatnot. But you know, after a while, you get better. So you know, gotta give yourself a break and. Always bear in mind that it takes a little time till you get to know the game. But I can tell you from my experience, it happens sooner than you can think. You know, because it's like not that many items that can drop, and you know most of it is really just crap. You know, most of those items don't do too much.
It's pretty easy to actually get used to running the game, I would say. But yeah, there's quite a few things happening here. So first of all, Blowout just posted a link to the rules where you can see where you get points for what, and like what objectives actually give you points. And yeah, there's actually, I mean, Decker just happened to be in the treasure room, and most of the time, I don't approve of that Fedora movement decision.
Yeah.
Let's see
if that's gonna backfire. Yeah.
But certainly, normally we don't want to be in treasure rooms usually, but when there is cores, it's actually beneficial because that was
really risky on Decker BRD's part there. All of his party members ripped, and but he has the rally, he has the reviving spell, so he can revive his party. And as long as one party member is surviving, you can see you can bring back your whole party.
And I will say it probably was a calculated decision because at level 24 you can survive Fedoras, so he might have just
at least said, normal Fedoras.
Let's get into this battle and try and see what's happening.
Yeah,
exactly. Not all Fedoras. Yeah. Well, there is a Sky Sword for Case Kitty, so that is a very good item. It's actually a weapon with the highest attack power bonus. Shared with a Myth Blade. Yeah,
so fun fact though, the weapons with the highest attack power aren't going to be necessarily the most important ones when it comes to fighting the final boss of this ancient cave. So the final boss of the ancient cave is going to have around 10,000 HP. And luckily there are some items in this game that deal fractional damage. So, but those aren't necessarily the items with the highest attack power. So for the final jelly fight, we're going to need a combination of both. We're going to need some items that are doing fractional damage. So we're going to use those, of course, right off the bat to try to half or like quarter the HP. Yeah, I'm missing vocabulary here to describe, but you know what I'm talking about. You know, just trying to half.
Basically, deal a fraction of the
deal fraction of
HP in damage, so that's why Decker Blade is so good, because it just takes away half the enemy HP, which is great for an enemy at 10,000. Reflect is fighting ninjas here.
Yeah,
he was quite lucky. He didn't get any knife throws in the first round of battle, or at least I didn't see any. And he came out of it on top.
Yeah, it's just really pointless trying to
run there's another one he has to fight. Right.
Also, didn't get the 50-50. If you can lure those ninjas and getting the knife thrower into the face right off the bat. That's you saw that. That's a really strong attack that damages the whole party.
Yeah.
That actually doesn't ignore your defense. Small inside joke.
Yes.
I guess the farthest inside the cave is currently Creekspire, though.
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
And he's gonna fight again those Hydoras, and also those are the more evolved Hydoras, which are also, of course, way more dangerous. The High Hydora and the Sea Hydora, and he's gonna try to get an item drop out of them, which is the High Hydora Rock, which lets you attack 2 more times in the final boss fight. And that was also a thing we were talking about earlier, the fractional items, and also, of course, the high attack power items like the Sky Sword earlier, like this weapon with the strongest attack power. Like it has no fractional attack, but it of course deals a lot of damage with a single attack. So a Sky Sword, for example, in combination with a Hydora Rock, which lets you attack not only 3 but 5 times, is of course a really good choice for the final fight when we're gonna fight the Jelly. So it's gonna be a combination of so-called finishers like the Sky Sword and the Hydora Rock, which are just like dealing, I would say, pure damage, you know, and not fractional damage. Yeah. So that's gonna be the strat our runners is gonna look out for when it comes to fighting the final boss here.
For sure. So chat just asked a question I want to get into, which is who's in last place, and it being very complex to watch, and that is certainly true. Even for experienced runners, I would call myself that. It is very hard to tell what is going on looking at all these screens at once and like call someone ahead, because it doesn't only depend on the floor numbers. In terms of floor numbers, TC Boy unfortunately is all the way back at floor 10 or 11, I believe, and Chaos Kitty died earlier and therefore is a bit further into the cave, around level 31 to 33, I don't know where exactly. Other runners are further up ahead. Krieg is at level, what is that, 60? 59?
Yes, I was just quick. I was just confused there.
Wait, what?
No, you go ahead. You go ahead.
Okay, and yeah, I was pretty much wanting to say if you have amazing items and are 10 floors ahead, that's way better than just scrolling down floors and making progress in terms of floor number, because you do need items to both survive the cave and kill the Jelly Man. So right now I would say Krieg is very far ahead. He has the Decker Blade. And
he had really good drops so far.
Yeah,
so
he has all kinds of healing items.
Of course, good spells. RNG, healing spells, yeah. Probably also healing items. We don't know his complete inventory by heart.
Yeah, I mean, I assume
saw
everyone
him.
has some kind of healing item.
Yeah, and you saw Kriegspire just manipulating those high Hydoras, which are really, really frightening enemies, to get a 100% save first strike. So he has one additional turn where he can just use the ice spell, the Ice Valk, which is actually a really effective spell against those Hydoras. So he's able, with a crit from Decker, you can see he's able to kill those enemies without even giving the enemies a chance to attack. Because once they attack, that's no good, man.
Yeah.
Yuck.
For the same reason that Hydora Rock is good for you, because it lets you attack multiple times, it's bad for you if you're fighting those enemies, because they will just attack you 5 times in a row, and that's not nice. Yeah. So, yeah, other than that though, I see deadly swords pretty much everywhere. I have seen a Phala Pick before for a Chaos Kitty, I think, but I haven't seen a single deadly rod, if I'm not mistaken.
No, Krieg has actually 2.
Oh, he has 2 deadly rods as well. Oh yeah, that's right. He found them all the way to start. Yeah, yeah, Krieg has been very fortunate.
Yeah, so like the thing with those deadly weapons is they're like certain kinds of weapons. Like for example, axes can only be worn by Guy and Decker. Rods can only be worn by Artie, Tia, and Selin, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, like.
And for swords, it's a little twisted or something, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, like turns out that only Artie, Maxim, and Tia, and Lexus, I guess, can equip the so-called deadly weapons, which have a 80% chance of one-shotting every enemy except for the undead enemies.
Yeah, Lexus can't actually equip deadlies.
He can't equip a deadly sword? No. Okay. Yeah.
Actually, Guy and Decker can equip the bad deadly sword. That
but only bad one.
Okay.
Yeah.
80% Kappa. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh, and Irish shields for Krieg.
That's pretty cool.
So just
yeah. It's like a rare item, but it does nothing.
Oh yeah, it gives you 5 points in this one. So.
Oh yeah,
actually worth mentioning for once. Yeah.
not only shouting out randomly, "Wake me up," you know.
Yeah, exactly. Normally it doesn't do anything, and it's well used as material for many memes, as well as actually a good category in my opinion. But yeah, this time we actually get to rejoice if someone finds them for a different reason. Of course, now it's just giving more of an advantage to Krieg, who I would say is still ahead. I'm not quite sure how well Decker is doing, or Reflect actually. I would say those three is pretty close, but Krieg has a slight edge on the R2. Did you say good category? I will drop it at this point. Not making myself any friends here. Didn't expect to do so.
Yeah, if we're talking about awful categories to speedrun,
something
in the Lufia.
Yeah, something that's actually less commonly known is what Decker is attempting here. He's trying to make the Hydora face down when there is a bush right underneath, and that actually won't work for him. And I hope he's not going to try that too long, because when there is a bush below the enemies, they won't actually turn down their sprite. So what he's attempting there will unfortunately not work. I wouldn't blame him for not knowing that.
Yeah, the thing is...
oh, DC Boy just got a Gades.
Oh, sick.
Nice, only one more Gades, and you get some extra points.
Easy task, easy task.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I mean, like, you get one on floor 1 for free, so, you know, shouldn't be too hard.
It's not actually the same with chests, no, they will turn down into chests, but not into bushes.
Yeah, I would say code-wise, actually they're turning down, but the direction of the sprite is not changing. I would say that's what's happening there.
Well, I mean, you don't get the back attack, so they're not actually turned down. But I mean,
yeah, of course. I mean, like
usually when someone brings up stuff like that, people will spend like 5 hours testing stuff. So.
Yeah, I mean, like, because it's still you can see those huge enemies, like the ones that are being fighted. Whatever. The ones Reflect is currently fighting, the Hydoras. Those large enemy sprites often have the mechanic that they're walking every third step. So you're taking one step with Maxim, and only every third step they're actually moving. So having that in mind, you can try to. Yeah, my English is really bad.
It's fought.
It's fought, of course, yeah. Yeah, where I was going with this is you can actually, of course, use that knowledge to manipulate and try to figure out where the enemy can move again. So that's like the sort of chess thing I was talking about earlier, that you try to manipulate the enemies in that very way, so you can back attack them to get a safe fight, because some of these enemies you just don't want to fight the normal way. It's really barely impossible, you could say. Oh, dude, Chaos Kitty.
Wow, Chaos Kitty. It's being hunted down.
Those ninjas, they were on her tail. You could see that there was like at the blink of an eye on Chaos Kitty's screen. She was like entering that room, and the ninjas really just going right after her. So that was really frightening. But luckily,
she wasn't even. Yeah, she wasn't even thinking about it. She was just like, nope.
Get the hell out of here.
And she got a dark mirror as compensation, which is very nice. And
yeah, it's a pretty strong defensive weapon.
Yeah. Well, shield, yeah. She's gonna have to think about
defensive weapon. What am I talking about? Sorry.
Yeah, so, I mean, you mentioned manipulating movement patterns, and of course, I just want to clarify, it has nothing to do with RNG manipulation or anything, it's just colloquially mentioning that you influence where enemies are moving. This game is actually played fairly legit by most of the community. Certain present commentators not included. There is actually an extra category for RNG manipulating this game. And most of the time, though, or most runners will run the main category of the game, which is any % no manipulation, where you are not allowed to do any kind of RNG manipulation. So, yeah, due to the exact definition, it's kind of hard to make a ruling on that, but that's pretty much the gist of it. So DC
Yeah, I think it's
a bolt shield, I believe.
I wanted to add to that, so you can probably get a better understanding when it comes to RNG manipulation for the cave. It's fairly easy, I would say, to play frame perfectly this game, because just of the movement mechanics the game has. So that actually enables you to sort of try to play a task, a tool-assisted speedrun setting-ish in a RTA attempt, which is a real-time attack attempt. So yeah, that's some pretty cool stuff, because you're actually just normally playing the game, but on a task level. So you have to really play frame perfectly, and so everything in those manipulated run, so everything that happens in those manipulated runs is like sort of pre-planned, preset, and it's pretty amazing to see somebody pulling that off. So I'm a huge fan of that. Some people, of course, it's OP when you're trying to play the cave casually without any RNG manipulation. So that's why there's, at least for the main category, a different category, a different leaderboard. Sorry. Yeah.
So, yeah, just to get up to speed with the run, KSK just found another Iris item. And Chat was asking the question what Fatal Blowout means. So the name is a play on Fatal Blow, which is the IP attack of the Deca Blade, which is a weapon you can find, which I think most runners in this race already have. And an old sword for Deca also.
Yeah, that's nice.
So yeah, that's basically a pun or a play on the word Fatal Blow, or the attack name, which is a very iconic move. Because
it's the strongest attack.
Move.
It's the strongest move, yeah. It's the strongest move you can get in the Ancient Cave.
Well, maybe it's only Krieg who has Deca Blades, and he has like 15 of them. I'm not quite sure, but I saw many Deca Blades. Yeah, I know Krieg has at least 3.
Yeah, of course it's easy to miss what's all going on there on those 5 screens, but yeah, we're trying to keep track if there's like something special happening on one of those screens. If you're new to Lufia 2, yeah, sorry.
Krieg just got an old helmet drop from an enemy that's also 2% drop.
Okay, yeah. So it's not that helpful, but it's like 2% chance of that happening.
Yeah, it's alright.
Yeah. So I just wanted to say, if you're new to watching Lufia 2, if you don't know this game at all, I just recommend picking one of the screens, preferably the one with that audio sign in the corner, and try to focus on that and watch that, just to try to sort of understand what's going on there, like movement-wise with the enemies, and also, of course, gameplay-wise.
And since I don't have audio on for the stream, that is probably Chaos Kitty right now, right? Is that accurate?
Should be Chaos Kitty regarding to the visual there.
Alright. Yeah, so we're getting into the later stages of the cave here for Krieg, Deca, and Reflect, and slowly Chaos Kitty. So, yeah, the enemies are getting stronger. Most enemies are going to be out of reach now for conventional weapons, and runners are going to be very happy to have deadly weapons that will instantly kill anything they attack with a chance of presumably 80%. And yeah, some of these enemies will have over 1,000 or even over 2,000 HP, which is very hard to beat. Especially before, since you're going to try to avoid damage, you're going to try to kill them before they even get a single attack, and dealing 2,000 damage before that happens is very unlikely. So...
Oh, and a curse lift of Chaos Kitty, that's
very nice. Yeah, so also, more than half the time that the runners have is already passed. So, exactly 80% in large quotation marks. Chaos Kitty's finding some very good gear here, so yeah, she's actually level 27, which is pretty nice. So
yeah, she had a really nice
recovery.
recovery.
Get back into the game here. That's very nice.
Yeah, of course, the game is gonna be tighter for her because she has to try to make some more floors now if she still wants to reach the jelly floor, which is gonna be floor 99.
Yes.
Also, it's going to be, of course, RNG, which will decide whether she will actually reach that floor, because sometimes you get like small floors and you got the staircase, which leads you to the next lower floor right in front of you. Sometimes you get like super large floors where you have to like fight 100 enemies through, and then you waste like 5 minutes to get to the staircase. So of course, it's also very helpful if you're entering a new floor and you find the staircase right in front of you. So you know you can always get back to that staircase and enter it if there's like a room with lots of enemies that are blocking your way. You can always get back to that position. But having said that, I have to say this is a really mentally challenging speedrun. Like not that input or execution heavy, but really mentally, because you have to remember a lot of things. You have to remember what items you found. You have to maybe remember which floor you are on. If you're not having like a cool floor tracker like Critical and I have, because we're splitting on every floor.
If you're starting to run this game, you should definitely split on every floor. It's the only sane thing to do.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Yeah, most runners like to split on every 10th floor because it's just like too much of a hassle to split every floor.
Yeah, but for the same reason that we can't really tell you who's ahead. I mean, we can tell you who's ahead in the floors, but for the same reason that doesn't really make sense to exclude items. Like split timers aren't really useful in their conventional sense. So
no, not at all.
You can use them as trackers as much as you want, but like at least if you're starting out to run this game, don't make yourself crazy because just last time it's gonna happen. So even if you are on a very perfect run, it might mean that you're losing time on the floor, but it doesn't have to mean anything.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, right now, Decker and Reflect are pretty much on the same floor. Krieg is also pretty much on the same floor, isn't he? Yeah. So they're pretty much tied.
Yeah, it's pretty even so far. I guess none of our runners really has something we call a kill. That's what what's behind that is, you need, of course, to find a certain set of item which enables you to kill the jelly with its 10,000 HP on floor 99. Yeah. So, that's just a silver rapier though for Kriegsspire. That's actually helpful, I guess.
So I know Krieg has an abundance of Decker blades, and Decker has an old sword, which is also a fractional weapon, especially if you combine it with a Cancer Rock, very strong. But I wouldn't be able to tell who is actually.
Decker got the double leech back attack when he was trying to get into the staircase. That's hurtful.
That is gonna be rough. Let's hope he makes it through there.
Oh no, it was a back attack. Oh, sorry, yeah. It was just a single encounter. I thought it was a back attack.
Yeah, okay, that makes it a lot better. Leeches are some of the most fearsome enemies in the cave, especially since they appear together with Archfiends at times, and that combination is quite dreadful. So if you made it past Blue Mimics, that is one of the biggest challenges you still have to face. And then as soon as you reach floor 88, you only have to only in quotation marks, you only have to deal with dragons and dark summoners. Fortunately, dragons never killed anyone, but dark summoners can be hard at times. And it's just
especially in tight,
especially
in tight floors where you get like small hallways.
Yeah, or like convention rooms or something like that. But in general, once you reach floor 88, you're generally scot-free unless something really bad happens. Or you screw up your movement or something, which can always happens to the best of us. So
yeah, I have to say it's not that easy to really play 2 hours, and you better always focus, because like especially on the higher floors, if you do one wrong step, you can get screwed up by some big fat enemy that just one-shots you. You really always should pay attention how the enemies are moving and how you can dodge them or back attack them. So that's like really most important part. I would say it's like even 70-ish% movement. Like, you know how people say with poker, it's like 70% skill and 30% chance or something.
Yeah,
I would
which
say
is
it's like
true.
the same. Yeah, I wasn't questioning that. I just wanted to say it's like sort of the same for the cave, you know.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
can get like really lucky and get the best best item drops, but you'll still have to manage to get through these rooms filled with enemies, and then the knowledge of the enemy movement pays off, because you know how to handle the situations, and you know how to back attack enemies, how to get away from them, and so on.
yeah. That is certainly accurate, and I mean that also means that if you're in a bad position, you can use the same kind of knowledge and skill to wiggle yourself out of that situation, which is very nice. So someone was saying before, or people were discussing before, whether you need a Decker Blade to get a kill, and it's like, while the Decker Blade is going to be very, very helpful in order to get a kill, you can definitely get a kill without the Decker Blade. And yeah, there have been runs that did that, lots of them actually. Probably not the great many sub 1 hour runs. But yeah, it doesn't. I mean, personally, I don't think you have to make a great time to make a great run in the ancient cave.
Yeah.
You know, that's
I actually
part of what I think
finished
it's-
a run without Decker Blade, which was a run with a double Gades Blade though.
Yeah, yeah.
And I
Nice.
had Zeppy, which the capsule monster that gives you an insane attack boost if it plays along. And I actually got what is it called? That boost attack?
Which one you mean, Trick?
No, the thing that Zeppy costs.
Oh, Energy Wave, yeah.
Yeah, I got double energy wave with 2 Gades blades.
Very nice.
So that was pretty OP. Yeah, Chaos Kitty actually found a Sister Sword if you missed that. So that's
Yeah, I
gonna
saw
give
it,
a little-
and
little
Isigo
upper
is
hand
about
there.
to pick up a blue chest of its own.
Yeah,
Like
if
all
he's gonna
catfish
survive that
blue
fight,
chests.
that's really those enemies are kind of a pain in the butt.
They can be bad,
because
yeah,
you
if you're a
got
low
a
level.
surprise attack there.
But I think he's good.
Just
No
place.
Blaze Sword. That is not going to help him because only Selen can equip that, so he brought the wrong girl.
Oh, it's only Selen.
Yes.
Oh, Chaos Kitty. I hope she
Oh.
escaped there. I hope she escaped there.
Let's hope so.
Oh, she escaped. Oh, dude. Yeah, she
That was close.
Yeah, she went into that fight hoping to get a 50-50, because if you're walking towards enemy sprites from the side, the chances are 50-50 that you get a encounter. And yeah, she wanted to fight those enemies to get the Hydora Rock, which we were talking about earlier, which gives you like
Oh,
2 extra
and now
attacks on the
and now she got surprise attacked by the same Doris. That was a very risky move.
Yeah,
Let's hope they're being
yeah.
nice. So far they are.
Yeah. Oh, she got away with
Very
it.
nice.
That was,
Very nice.
jeez. That was, yeah, that was really lucky.
She's
I mean,
also
like-
lucky that there's a downwards door she's facing there, because if it was an
Yeah.
upwards door, there is a certain glitch that allows enemies to catch up with you. Normally, you
Yeah.
get a frame of enemies not moving after you escape a battle, but yeah, doors are certainly weird in this game and not always in your favor. Actually, never in your favor. Let me correct.
Yeah, she was again really doing risky stuff there with those Hydoras. You don't want to screw around with Hydoras. They're
Yeah.
really frightening.
But that part is certainly right. Some close calls in this race, Creek just cruises along. I'm pretty sure the same was true for my race. I mean, I saw from the results that other people were struggling.
Yeah.
And
But I guess
really
Creek
didn't
is
have a lot of
cruising on
problems.
I guess Creek is like cruising along on the Aida as a guest, and you were like cruising on your own freaking yacht, if I might say that.
on a jet ski.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Giving those people
yeah.
on the beach the middle finger style, you know. That was your run before.
Yeah, so apparently Creek also got an old armor drop now. So, yeah, we see an old sword for Decker, so
Yeah.
all those items are... I mean, as far as random drops go, they're one of the better ones you can get.
Yeah. And also, I don't know if you recognized what happened on Creek Spire's screen there. He actually maxed out the amount of items he can carry in his inventory. So he actually has to get rid of some of his items because the maximum amount of items he can carry in his inventory was reached. I guess it's like 100-ish or something.
Sorry, I missed it. Come on.
How many items can you carry?
Oh, I have no idea. Way too
Basically,
many.
Mr. Miyagi. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean,
I guess
there's
it's
a
around
lot of
100.
curious one.
It's around 100, and once you reach those 100-ish or whatever, you.
I'm pretty
have to
sure
get
it's
rid-
gonna be either 128 or 64 or something like that. You know?
Yeah, probably.
I never gave it too much thought.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, either way, there is a limit to it, and yeah, that's usually when you will feed your capsule monster to evolve it to the next level. Which
Yeah, capsule
actually-
monsters.
I have no idea where everyone's at that point. I know Krieg has very early on evolved Darby to Form 3, and I'm not sure whether he's actually at Form 4 yet, but he probably is, because that was a while ago.
Yeah, what is that on Decker's screen? Is that level 4 already on
Yeah, that is Darby level 4.
Darby level 4? Okay. I don't
So
use
Darby level 4.
other. Sorry, just to close that. I'm not using any other capsule monsters than Solly, so I don't recognize all of the other sprites from the other capsule monsters.
Yeah,
So
that's
there are
fine.
7 total, and I'm only using one of them all the time. So
Yeah. Oh, so Krieg actually still has the third form, which is Darby's third form, but Decker and Krieg are using the same capsule. You definitely want Form 4 for the jelly fight, and the earlier you have Form 4, the higher chance is to learn Evil Aura, which is the attack you want to do, which is pretty
how
much
much
what
damage
you're counting on if you
does
want.
that on the jelly? 1,000?
Well, anyway, it's not that easy to say, but it's a pretty strong attack when you put it like that. I'm not running.
Yeah.
I'm not
Hearing
running
RC
Darby
click
often
through,
enough to-
hearing RC
Yeah,
clicking
exactly.
through the AC ref at the
That
back
is
there.
exactly what I'm doing, but Evil Aura would do 6 times intelligence as damage. So, yeah,
Okay, that's pretty
that's
cool.
pretty good. That's pretty much. I would say that is almost up to what Sully does with Battle Anger, which is 4 times attack power and intelligence.
Mhm.
But yeah,
But
not-
way more
not
likely than Battle Anger on Sully.
We don't exactly know that. Like people have tried to figure that out, but we're not entirely sure on the numbers there. I guess that's another part in which people could help out the AC community. Is if you're good with ROM hacking, you could just join the AC Discord and help us figure out nerd things that no one really cares about. But yeah,
And yeah, you're very welcome to do that because, like, Reflect got in a really got in a really tight floor there. He had to fight those Archfiends, and of course, he got the double Archfiend, which is really one of the worst encounters you can have because those guys are really fast. I guess you can't run away from them without taking hits from them, and both of them are attacking 2 times. Well, in most scenarios, depends on their attack. But they do very bad attacks and a lot of damage, and they have a huge amount of health. So, like, the really only easy way to get rid of them is like using the deadly weapon. Like we covered before, it has an 80% chance of one-shotting the enemy. And yeah, let's see how he's gonna handle those guys.
It is
Hopefully he's
definitely
gonna-
a Pika situation at the same time. Oh wow, that looks terrible.
That is probably rip for
It's very likely.
Reflect.
I mean, they have a chance to do stronger, but
Yeah.
unfortunately, it's not in the cards, and that means Reflect will have to start from the bottom up as well. At the same
Yeah.
time, Chaos Kitty had to deal with Salamanders, and
Yeah.
actually
Also.
beat her battle and found an Iris spot on top of things. So she's collecting them a lot.
Yeah.
I mean,
Turning the fatal blowout run into an Iris percent run, right?
Yeah, I mean, she's got at least 3 items, which is 15 points. Which means if you actually worsen your chances by taking a bad capsule, let's say, she's already got 1.5 times the amount of points that you would get for that. So that's pretty nice. And she's taken Talon, so
Yeah, that's additional points for picking a rather unpopular party members to get through the cave.
yeah.
Like
And
once
I mean,
again,
Reflect-
sorry, just keep the keep the topic up for maybe people that were just joining now. This is the Fatal Blowout tournament, so it's not only the normal Ancient Cave speedrun. You can also collect additional points by doing side quests, and you can see the rules there in the chat.
Yes.
Yeah, you go ahead.
So I was actually trying to say something about the same thing, which is Reflect got far enough in the cave to actually make it feasible to do just that and go look for iris items, go look for one of the eyes that appear in blue chests. So he can actually, assuming no one else or none of the other runners actually manages to beat the jelly, and he gets a thundering, which would be good if he managed to make it to the jelly, but that unfortunately is very unlikely in 34 minutes.
Yeah. It would be basically world record.
Well, if you manage to beat the jelly.
Yeah. Yeah, the thing is, you can see from the race before, we had 4 racers in the race before. And
Creek has 2 archfiends he has to go through there, and he barely cannot fit in between them.
Oh, dude, that's really a pain.
Yeah, it is going to be interesting because usually you want to lure him around, and he can't actually lure either archfiend around anything. I mean, the bottom one, if he manages to get rid of the dragons, but I agree with Shadow there.
Yeah, I would try to get rid of the dragons and then lure the bottom one around the bush or something.
Yeah.
Because with the 2 dragons, or he just can go for it and try to escape from the encounters. So that's where the chess is starting, you know. That's where the real fun of the cave is starting. Where you just have to, know your stuff when it comes to movement and exactly. Yeah, those archfiends, you can see he's trying to keep away from them. They have like a 3 tile radius, or is it ratio in English?
Oh, it's a 3 tile radius of vision.
Of vision, yeah. Once they start, once their aggro catches on to you, and
once they get activated, like some enemies have 2 different movement patterns, and the second one activates when you're getting close to them, or whether you're in the same horizontal distance as them. I actually really like what he did there, and he's going to be able to get to the stairs.
Nice one. That was really good, really well done by Krieg, and that is actually the result of like years and years of running the cave and just knowing your stuff and being patient on these unfortunate floors where you get bad RNG, and just knowing how to handle those guys. That's really, really good work.
I will say in his case, it's the case of years and years of training because he's been running since forever. But you don't actually need to spend years and years to actually learn it. So just trying to emphasize that. And so DC Boy is gonna fighting his way through a couple of sessions. Decker finds the Decker
getting his Decker. There we go. Yeah. So actually, no, did Decker rip? No, it was just the bottom that ripped already once, right?
Yeah, Krieg and Decker are the only 2 who haven't suffered a terrible defeat.
Yeah. So yeah, it's gonna be between those 2. So yeah, what I was going on with, what I was talking about earlier. So like we had 4 runners in the race before. Only actually 3 of them managed to get to the final floor, to the floor 99 and fighting the jelly. But only one of them was able to actually kill the jelly, which was our very RC right here. And yeah, so you're gonna see the 3 of our runners already ripped, so it's gonna be rather hard for them to reach the final boss floor in those 2 hours. So 2 runners left, and let's see if one of our runners is gonna be lucky enough to find the right items to kill the jelly on floor 99.
And if you know what you're doing, 2 hours is a time where you can reasonably expect to beat the cave, which doesn't mean you'll be able to do so every single time, but it means it's a time frame that, assuming nothing goes terribly wrong, you should be able to make it. So, I guess the people in charge of the rules, which is, I guess shoutouts to organizers as well, which is Creekspire and Shadow Killer. I hope I'm not missing anyone here. But I suppose they were thinking, okay, 2 hours is all nice and well, that's a typical marathon run. But to really challenge the AC community, which is what we can showcase here, we're going to throw in some extra challenges. We're going to find a way to make him use Lexus and Tia and Selen, and yeah. Oh, there is a gold eye for DC Boy. So yeah,
additional points,
a couple extra points, and Yeah, there are people in the community that are running for speedrun the ComPBs, which of course is one of the major, I want to say, incentives to run the game. It's getting the fast PBs to clear the cave as fast as you can. Then there's people trying challenge runs, there's people doing bingo races, so you can do all kinds of things, but running any percent is really the main category. Any percent no limit. Apparently KSK has done something justifying a lot of exclamation marks. I missed it myself.
Oh,
but she's already at floor 68, which is pretty nice. I mean, she can definitely make it to jelly in time.
She went all in there, yeah. Of course, probably at the expense of picking up less chests. But that's the balance you gotta find when you speedrun the cave, Of course, trying to get through as quickly as possible, but every chest you open, just the animation where you open the chest takes 4 seconds, plus probably the time that it takes you to get towards that chest if it's not like really on your way, so to speak.
Yeah.
So yeah, you have to find the balance for yourself when you're running the cave, regarding when it's the right time. I guess actually Creekspire's guide is talking about that as well. Like there's also a skill to chaos. Okay, luckily not bronze dragons yet. Combo dragons, sorry.
You can't honestly blame her for playing a bit more risky, because the time she's going to make it to jelly is really tight. So I mean, I can understand why you would play more risky. That is certainly not something I would.
Yeah,
I know I'm joking about Dragon.
Yeah,
that is definitely not something I would blame her for at this stage of the tournament.
And there's the leech following her through the rooms, through the doors. That's really unfortunate. Those guys can actually teleport in another room. But,
see, I'm defending her, but she's saying she's gonna.
Not really, right?
I tried, Chaos Kitty. I tried.
Yeah. But yeah, lost my train of thought there. Finding the right balance. That's actually really important. Once you, also the fact, the skill to try to figure out once you're in go mode, and that is also, of course, depending on the items you already collected. So once you got like the good fractional weapons, like a Decker Blade and maybe Gorgon Rock, so you can take away half of the health points of the final boss right off the bat, and then maybe get some good spells and some weapons that just deal normal damage, and then you're good to go. And that's gonna be the time in a normal RTA speedrun attempt when our runners are just looking for stairs and not even gonna open up any chests anymore. A little bit different setup here in our Fatal Blowout tournament, because we got 2 hours to get to the jelly, so it doesn't matter whether you fight the jelly on 1:30 or 2 hours. Just be sure to hopefully finish the jelly before the 2-hour mark is reached.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'll reflect the vote jelly.
Yeah, those guys can be also a pain.
Getting wiped again. The thing is, I kind of think as a new runner or as a starting out runner, you can just open more chests to kind of equalize the skill a little bit, that you might be lacking at that point. Because if you just open more chests, you're gonna sacrifice some time for better equipment. You get to feed your capsule more guaranteed, Yeah. The Lufia to rando, yeah. I'm not gonna explain it in detail, but that is a thing indeed.
The randomizer for the randomizer.
Yeah, it's not a randomizer, it's a roguelike. We covered that before.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's not too bad to go for additional items. Like you said, you can also use stuff. You can also use the stuff and the items you find to feed your capsule monster. Which is something though that top tier runners wouldn't opt to do, because like just feeding a capsule monster takes a lot of time, and it's also not a safe call that the capsule monster will actually help on the final boss fight. So
yeah,
it's a crapshoot all the time.
Yeah, I mean, Darby, for example, never defends, so he's almost always going to, contribute something relevant. He's always going to contribute something.
But still, on level 1, he's pretty useless. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, there are certain scenarios, and I mean it's especially marathon runs where you can decide to like take your time. I mean that's pretty much what I did before. Actually, I was killing a lot of enemies, making sure that I was high level, being able to survive a lot of things. I could have probably pushed for 130, but let's be honest, I probably would have died on the way there. So yeah, I pretty much did exactly what I would do if I was starting and running this game, and try to play it more safe. And yeah, just try to get it to the end. I think that's a pretty nice.
Yeah, it's cool that you are not having the timer in your neck like it is the thing with the most popular / main category for the speedrunning this game. Like we talked earlier, the 80% no manipulation category.
Man,
Yes.
Case Kitty's taking some 50-50s not in her favor, but is fortunate enough not to get back attacked by the genies there. They have a very
not in her favor.
Yeah. Yeah, just like you can surprise deck enemies, they can surprise deck you.
Yeah.
Mechanics are almost identical. And yeah, there are some enemies, like you said before, like leeches, you do not wanna get surprise decked by.
Yeah. Still, I'm
Yes,
surprised.
Krieg's-
Kitty on floor 75. That's pretty dope.
Yeah,
She
that's
caught
pretty
on
nice.
really fast.
And Krieg is trying to IP farm right now. That's one of the most advantageous things you can get is a single copper dragon. Unless you have Sully, who constantly perish punches the single copper dragon. I mean,
Yeah,
unless that
I've
happens.
been there. I've been there more times than I want to actually, because I was like, it was a strat for me. So for some time actually, that I evolved the Sully to level 2, where he has like a special attack which is called Perish Punch, which can one-shot enemies. But luckily, you can actually devolve your capsule monsters, and that's what I did there. So I devolved, unevolved Sully to level 1. So he can't do that stupid attack anymore, which is actually a really cool and powerful attack. But it's not helpful if you're trying to farm the IP values, which you are only getting by taking damage, as you can see on Kriegspire's screen there. And now all his bottom bars are full, like the yellow bars, they're full. So he has like 100% IP on every character, and that's gonna be helpful. So he can use the special attacks from the items he's gonna need to defeat the final boss, the Jelly.
Exactly, yeah, that's why you want to have IP that allows you to use the equipment special attacks, which is also, I mean, I guess it's a pretty unique mechanic. That equipment allows you to do certain spells. So Decker's Darby is using Evil Aura right now for me, which means he already learned it, which is going to be very helpful at the Jelly fight.
Oh yeah, fingers crossed for some OP Evil Auras during the Jelly fight.
Indeed. I'm not sure which floor he's at, but looking at the time, he should easily be able to make it. So
Yeah,
Reflect
I guess
finds a very late deadly route.
Yeah, I mean, like until floor 87, there's the possibility for Archfiends to spawn, and like starting on floor 88, it's getting like we saw Kriegspire just entering 88. From now on, there's only the fat dragons, which are really powerful enemies, but their movement is really predictable, so you should be able to dodge most of those.
And Dark Summoners.
Yeah, and the Dark Summoners, of course, they're teleporting. They can be really annoying if you like have to encounter them in small spaces, but in large rooms, they shouldn't be a problem. And Kriegspire taking some of the stairs there rather quickly. I don't know what's up with that, because he still has 20 minutes actually to get to the final floor. Not sure whether he has a kill already or whether he has to pick up more items.
If he does have a kill, it's definitely not the worst strat, because you do get 5 extra points for every 15 minutes you finish before the 2-hour mark. So it would be quite... it would be quite... I don't know,
Ballsy.
13 virtue, yeah. actually try to attempt that because the jelly fight itself takes probably a couple minutes, but yeah.
Was it
It's
PG-13?
theoretically
I'm sorry, I don't know too much about that PG-13.
Yeah, same here. That's why I try to avoid saying anything like it.
I'm just going for it. Sorry. Yeah.
I mean, you can say it at least once. So.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I've been cussing already on ESA Marathon, so I'm not banned on Twitch already. So.
Yeah, I guess.
It was fine so far with Twitch admin, so please don't ban me. I mean, I'm not doing this intentionally, of course. It's just like a little confusing all the time because like on German television and German what have you, you can just like cuss your freaking A off and nobody cares. But yeah, whatever. We're running Fatal Blowout.
Indeed, we are. It's been a pretty interesting event so far. I wouldn't be able to tell you about the first one because I missed it because I wasn't watching the other runners. But this one has been a very intense race by all runners until Chaos Kitty and then DC Boy were very early taken out of the run at the restart. Reflect followed, and Decker and Krieg are the only people who are, or the only runners who are not yet, who have not yet suffered a total defeat, and yeah, are on their way to Jelly. I don't know if
good
Krieg has a
RNG
good
on those
reward.
double gold dragons.
Oh, nice,
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, 80% means it works pretty much every time, right? I mean,
Yeah.
no doubt about
It's a
it.
safe fight, right?
Yeah.
So that's the last normal floor for Decker BRB, and he finds a Silver Rape, and that might actually come in really handy because it's a weapon that deals 3 times damage with its Ikari points attack,
Yes.
with its IP attack. So let's see if that's gonna play into his hands. Creek having a hard time with those dragons there. That's a
he
small
is
dragon
kind of
fawn.
yeah, it's like a, I don't know, dragon truck stop or something.
Yeah, it's like coming to a party at like 8 p.m. You know, there's like some people
Yeah.
hanging there, but not
Yeah.
already all are there. You know?
Not everyone has arrived yet.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, he found the stairs, which are going to lead him to the jelly. So that's going to be exciting to see, to have a look into his inventory and see what items he's going to have.
Runners are allowed to watch both the stream you're watching right now, the RPG Limbo Break stream, as well as look at the scores while they're running themselves. There is no rule against that. Yeah, so I see Decker doing some equips here. Is he already at the jelly?
Yeah, he's on the final floor. He just entered
Very
99.
nice.
Yeah.
So I'm tempted to do a counter, but I guess I'll eyeball it this time. He's got some very interesting options there. I see.
Oh yeah. I mean, he has Lexus, so that's like additional points regarding the Fatal Blowout rules. But of course, a lesser chance because Lexus is a weaker character when it comes to fighting Jelly, I would say.
Well, it depends. It's a very spell-heavy character because of his limited range of weapons that he can't even equip. So he did find an Ice Ring earlier, so I don't know whether he has Ice Walk, the strongest ice spell, so I don't know whether he can utilize it to full potential. But yeah, I guess we'll see in a second.
And no Creek found Ice Walk. I don't know if Decker found it. Oh, and he's going for it already, right? Crazy
pretty sure.
Blade, Deadly Rod, Uncursed Deadly Rod, Silver Sword, which is actually the strongest weapon for Maxim.
That's very nice. Yeah, like the strongest
finisher. Yeah,
other than Lizard Blue.
that's a pretty cool combo. So let's see where Decker's Jelly fight is going there.
Yeah, I would say it should be close, but I'm opting for that to be a kill simply because level 37 is pretty good. I think that's going to be a kill. Did I hear the keyboard there? Are you counting it?
Yeah, I'm gonna do it. Just
Nice.
you know.
I knew someone
don't
else would
think-
do the
yeah,
work if
he's-
I wasn't.
Yeah, it's okay. So I guess it's not gonna be a 2-cycle for him. I guess that's not gonna be.
Yeah, I would doubt that.
Yeah. Double trick though,
meanwhile-
that's pretty cool. You can see it raises the attack power and terminate. Dude, that's pretty cool.
It's not too bad.
Yeah. And I guess would say a rather average roll from the Fatal Blow.
Yeah, I didn't pay attention to numbers. I paid attention to Creek picking up Zap in the meantime, and DC Boy just found Iris Ring. So these Iris
Nice.
items are dropping like crazy in this tournament, which I guess is rolling some extra points.
Oh,
Then it's
actually,
also
Decker
good.
has Ice Valk, so now he's casting
Nice.
the spell, and it does 516 damage. That's really a lot.
Then I would definitely say that should be a kill with the kind of equips he has, but let's see.
He still has some HP to get down, so let's see. He's gonna
Yeah, it should
cast
be-
the Devastation from Artie a second time, so that's gonna give us a glimpse of how much damage he will still have to deal. Pretty good rolls from Lexus, and that's the last blow there. So that's what really good work by Decker BRD.
Very nice.
GG.
GG.
Well played, really. Yeah, not seeing an evil aura from Darby though. That was a. But was
Yeah.
it a two? Was that a 2-cycle? No, that wasn't. No, it was a free
That
cycle.
was not a 2-cycle.
Yeah, it was a free
not a
cycle.
2-turn. Yeah. So Kriegspire says Jelly right now, I believe, and
Yeah.
he's 2 levels higher. He should have the better equipment, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, let's see. I didn't see the equipment's equipment.
Yeah,
options.
I also wasn't following there, unfortunately. So we're gonna surprise ourselves during the fight.
Yeah, let's
We'll
see what's
see what-
happening.
Yeah.
Oh, meanwhile, DC Boy is finding himself in the treasure room.
Yeah.
And
So actually, it was
Kirsty is actually
10,000.
not that close behind.
Yeah, actually, it was 10,200 damage he did there
Oh, nice. Yeah.
on the jelly. So it wasn't close at all. You could say. Of course, Darby helping a lot there with his additional attacks. So let's see how Darby will help out Kriegspire in his fight.
Yeah,
Starting
that
with
last
Zap.
second Zap find was really good.
Yeah, you can
I'm
see.
not
it's
sure it was
powerful
necessary,
as well.
but yeah.
Oh,
Nice.
evil aura, nice. Let's see how much damage that does. 664. Okay, that's. Oh, but a really
It's a
good fatal
pretty
blow.
good fatal blow. Wow.
Yeah. So, yeah, talking about rolls, I guess we haven't covered that before. So, like, of course, fatal blow does a lot of damage, but there's still chances it might be like 10% more damage or 10% less. So that's like a random number generator thing that's going on there.
Yeah. And there's a Decker Blade for Chaos Kitty. Wow. I don't know where
Nice.
she is in the run. She's not at she's not past floor 87 yet, but oh, she's probably at 84, I would guess. She's gonna have to make a run for it, but she can definitely make it.
And we're gonna see
Not
Kriegspire easily finishing his jelly kill there. He got really good
Yeah.
rolls, really good RNG, so that's gonna be the death strike with Thunder from Maxim here.
And so if I see that correctly, that was 9,431 damage after his second turn, so
Yeah.
yeah, very nice. GG
So,
to Krieg as well.
GG to Krieg. Really good work, man. But we have to say, of course, Decker and Krieg didn't get trolled because starting with floor 70, there can be like every floor is of course randomly generated. Also the enemies inside that floor. So if you're getting like really tight floors with lots of enemies inside them, you can just like get bashed like some of our other runners already did. Or like lose a bunch of time because you have to fight through like 10 enemies in a row that are all blocking your way. So that was of course well played, but also good RNG. So that combo really made good runs for Kriegspire and Decker.
Yeah, so not to distract from DC Boy and Reflect streams, who are still fighting hard, which is commendable. They still can rack up some points, but unfortunately they won't be able to beat the jelly in time, I would say.
Reflect
has
once
to deal
again
with
getting
last minute
really bad
movement
RNG.
here. That is terrible. Chaos Kitty does have a realistic chance to make it to Jelly in time, and remember, you don't have to beat the Jelly in the 2 hours. You just have to reach the Jelly floor, and then you can take your sweet time to beat it. And she did find the Dagger Blade just now, so it is quite possible that she has a kill. Yeah, we'll see. Best of luck to her, and to both DC Boy and Reflect as well, of course.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
Reflect
looking
was
at-
a runner who died latest into the run, so that's why he's still hanging out on floor 30. Still trying to pick up some chests to make some points, of course, yeah.
Yeah. So, looking at the points in the top left corner, Decker has 220 points, and Kriegspire just barely nicks him with 225 points. So right now, Krieg is ahead.
Oh, that's cool. That's really tight lead. I wouldn't have expected that.
That's exactly what I was talking about before. That speed is not the main measure in this type of tournament. Krieg finished slightly behind Decker, but probably found, I don't know, some iris items, some eyes. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to tell you what actually made the points difference there. Yeah, so very interesting.
Oh, that's really unfortunate for
that is-
Chaos Kitty there.
Yeah, that unfortunately,
Yeah,
since she chose to attack, she
Yeah.
wouldn't be able to escape this battle. I mean, maybe she will.
Maybe let's see.
Maybe
Like,
we'll see a
it has to be
double
really good
stronger.
RNG.
Oh wow, there's
Who's
actually
first stronger? Okay.
Are you kidding? Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not dragons after all.
Yeah. Kiss Dragons obviously never killed anyone.
Yeah, Krieg took a standard party.
GG to Chaos Kitty though, really good run. Like
Definitely.
really nice recovery. That was a really amazing recovery. That was fun to watch, and also getting like that late Decker Blade and trying to blaze through these floors and try to catch up.
Yeah.
That was really amazing.
That was
Good
a
job
very
by
impressive
Cassidy.
second run indeed. Keep in mind, she also didn't. She also wasn't able to keep any blue chest items from the first run. So yeah, it's not like she had any advantage there in the second one. She basically just had 1.5 hours to do the run, approximately, and she probably would have made it to Jelly if she didn't have to hurry it in the end. Yeah, so Krieg is showing off his 2 iris items in the inventory there. Decker is dancing with a sprite glitch. Very nice.
I haven't seen that before. That's interesting.
Yeah, I think it happens if you unlock the gift mode using Game Genie codes, but I'm not entirely certain.
Oh, actually, if you're wondering what's happening on Decker's screen, by the way, there are some rooms in this game which isn't like sometimes well programmed at all, actually, where the tiles are totally twisted. I mean, we haven't talked about that at all, but of course that room isn't supposed to look like that at all. It's just that like you can see the tiles, the sprites in that room are just twisted. You can see the on top layer with Maxim and the jelly is looking normal, but of course the back is totally not supposed to look like that. It's just like a badly programmed, so it's not supposed to look like that. You can see in the PAL versions and in other versions of the game, it's actually looking normal, and it's just like a normal room with like pillars and like some higher floor where the jelly fight was happening. So just in case you were wondering about that.
Someone found the silver eye. I know at least someone found the silver eye, but okay,
Yeah,
Decker says he
I
has no
think-
eyes, no irises, so Krieg's 2 iris items made the difference in pinpoints here.
Ah, nice. I guess Shadow Killer's keeping track of this stuff, right?
Yes, I would assume
I think.
so.
Yeah.
Shadow Killer is providing this stream layout that we see here.
Yeah, shoutouts to Shadow Killer.
He's
for
saying,
doing the
haha,
stream.
no, but
Ah, okay.
oh yeah, that's right. There were scorekeepers. I don't remember them off the top of the head. Off the top of my head, I would like to give some shots to them as well. So maybe someone can before the end of this run figure out who that is, or you guys can make yourselves known since you're probably watching the stream.
So it's like with randomizer, they also have tracker guys or
Mitchie
girls,
Dank
you
and
know.
Creek, there you go. So that is Mitchie tank meets and Kriegspire. Kriegspire probably busy with his own run this time.
Yeah. I was just about to say, but Mitch didn't have
And
a
Rocket,
run.
and Rocket and Venicus as well. Okay.
Ah, okay. Nice.
So basically everyone from the AC community is doing. Nice.
It's a family project, of course. You know.
Yeah, so DC
I mean,
Boy
like I know I'm that unwanted cousin that only shows up every 3 years and then screws with everyone, you know.
Yeah, tries to manipulate the largest piece of the cake.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course, and then gets out of there, and nobody's never heard of them again.
Yeah. Yeah, so looking at the follow-up scores, DC Boy and Chaos Kitty each got their 105 points there, which is definitely not bad. Reflect, unfortunately, left with 90 points. So, yeah, I mean, all runners have definitely worked for their score.
And Reflect got bashed there, like, in a really unfortunate fight for the third time, so...
Exactly. Chaos Kitty is trying to make the difference and getting the last 5 or 10 points to...
That's the spirit.
Yeah.
I mean, just one silver eye away from getting rank 3 here.
Yeah, or Iris item.
Or an Iris item, of course, yeah. I mean, what are the chances? 2%? So,
yeah, not for her
seems
anymore,
manageable.
because she has quite a few of them.
Yeah, sure.
I don't know how many she has,
But she did
has-
lose them because she died, right?
She died. Oh yeah, she died again. That's
Yeah.
right. Oh yeah,
So she
interesting.
lost them.
I'm not sure how they're scored to be exact. I think it's 5 points for every Iris item. So no one said anything about duplicates, meaning 2% it is.
Well.
Yeah,
Looks
GG
like we found
DC
a-
Boy and W Reflect as well.
Yeah,
I'm not
GG.
sure whether you can hear the audio, but
Yeah, maybe they're gonna rewatch it or something. So
Yeah.
yeah, good work.
mean-
but yeah, I mean, like really, really unfortunate floors there. That's how it usually is.
yeah. I wouldn't expect that anyone to do a terrible run, and that certainly hasn't happened here. I've seen
Yeah.
great floors, great races from everyone here. So.
I mean, you and me both. We know Chaos Kitty. We also know her.
Yeah, she's gonna keep going for 2 more hours. She's gonna.
Yeah, I mean that's the one thing. The other thing was we both know how she is with when it comes to dragons. So I guess she didn't get trolled by dragons.
She's
That's
getting trolled by Twitch right now, as it seems.
yeah. So that's one thing. But the other thing is she got some really risky encounters, we can say. But she actually. Also, of course, with good RNG, she managed to get out of those without getting harmed. Of course, then eventually getting bashed again because bad RNG and stuff. But
Yeah,
That's
as I
how it
said
is with
before, the
running a
faster
cave.
you have to go, the
Yeah.
more risky you gotta play. And the 2 hours in the beginning are very generous, but as soon as you die half an hour in, it's pretty much GG. I mean, you can beat the odds, sure, but it's not very likely. It's put it that way.
yeah, I mean, like going for world record is yeah. Yeah.
That would be a
It's
very fast world
time-consuming.
record for her right now. But,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, we're approaching the last 15 seconds of the run. Assuming Chaos Kitty is not finding a new glitch to warp to the jelly, I
see
guess
what you will
that
find on the
does
next chest.
conclude this race. And yeah, I mean,
And that's the last chest. Potion. Oh.
yeah. So I assume we're gonna hand it back to Shadow Killer at this point, and I'm just gonna say thanks for establishing everything, and have a good night, everyone.
Yeah, thanks for watching. Like we said before, if you're interested in starting speedrunning the cave, we have a Discord. Follow Lufia2 on Twitch and watch AC runners ask them questions. I guess everyone is lucky to help out and get more people interested in speedrunning the game. It's a great game, great community. Thank you so much for watching.
Thank you guys. Shout outs to Real Critical and Bamboo Shadow for the great commentary. Great race again. Congratulations, Krieg. And Decker will be in the wildcard race coming up later. We do have 2 more races next week for the preliminary rounds. And then the following week will be the wildcard race and the finals. So thank you all for watching. We're just going to keep it short and sweet today. Be sure to follow RPG Limit Break for more AC races, as well as a myriad of different